Yes, I'm actually crying now because it was something that it's hard.
Yeah.
He found a water infiltration.
Yeah.
So at that point, too, we felt misled by the sellers.
It was raining
Through the wall, the second
wall.
floor.
Just emphasizes about how you need people around you trust.
Almost like a network of trust that made that decision of not getting into that house that we really loved.
And then also to kind of rationalize that and say, oh yeah, even though we love it, we might not love it into the hundreds of thousands of dollars of repair love it.
With all those red flags, it's like, okay, people are really opening our eyes here and they want the best for us, not only for themselves.
Welcome to one more episode of the J&R Rentals Cast. We are so happy to welcome today a couple who turned a relocation scenario into a very smart real estate move. Welcome, Cadu and Nathalia. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting us. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, super happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. And my partner, 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐸. Thank you for being with us as well.
Well, I really appreciate being here, and we always enjoy sharing time with our friends. So I'm grateful to see you again.
Grateful to see you again too.
Excellent. So let's dive right into it. Tell us about yourselves and how was the initial move when you felt you needed to move closer to your employers?
I guess you start because this kind of moves always start with you.
So during the pandemic, we bought our first house here in the US and we were both working from home. So it was during the boom. The houses were in the market at noon. They were sold by the end of the day.
Literally.
People from California coming here buying in cash, and we needed our mortgage. So we started looking into some other options, and we ended up buying a house in Lago Vista, which is a region that we really love. It's by the lake. It's really nice, and there was no perspective in mid 2021 to go back to the office ever. So for us, it was a good move. It was a house of our dreams. It was in budget, really nice. We have a lake view, all the things. And we didn't care much about location, like if it's close to our employers or not, if it's close to even a supermarket or not. I didn't care back then. And then 2 years later, our life changed because we had a baby. And our employers made us go back to the office. And it was not convenient at all to be in Lago.
There was also the situation of the daycare because there were not really good available daycare around us. We would still have to like leave the city and go somewhere else to drop the kid kind of every day so we could work. And like if you've been to Lago Vista, it's going to be a 40-minute drive to go anywhere. Only to go to the grocery store, it was a 25-minute drive. So yeah, we decided like the logistics to go to work and drop the kid every day would really not be fun.
Yeah.
And I remember that Nathalia used to be calculating every single day. This is how many minutes I'm wasting. This is how long I'm wasting every day without like being close to my kid, especially when you had to go back to the office. To go back to work after
I was back to work after maternity leave, and then he was at home still. We had people taking care of him, but still I lost 2 hours of my day that I could be with my kid, and I was counting every week I'm losing these many hours. And then it became even more than just convenience. It became, I don't want to lose time with him that tiny. And then I convinced him that we needed to move. And then first we decided to rent our house and rent a house in Austin. That was what we were looking for. And then we talked to 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐸 and she was like, well, have you considered buying? We're like, no, but maybe.
But I think like before we get ahead, I think for us, at least for me, I'm very conservative when it comes to like investment and money. I don't like to take big risks. So one of the things we were thinking is, even though we could potentially afford being with 2 mortgages, I didn't like that idea at all. And I think one other thing also was I was super scared because around the same time, there were a lot of like vacant houses, vacant properties around our place. And they were being in the market for weeks and months on end and not being rented.
Yeah,
And then the first thing that comes to my mind, okay, we leave here and we get into another mortgage, and then I can't rent it out. Now I'm paying for two. And that thought scared me. So that's why we were thinking, okay, remember that like when we started talking to Raquel, like my condition was we need to first figure out how we're gonna rent it out before I even consider moving the house. Remember
yeah,
that?
but the math doesn't
Yeah.
actually work.
Little did I know.
But yeah, I think that you showed us that because our house was also kind of in between the reality of the other houses in Lago. It's either like huge houses, super expensive, or builder grade that it's smaller or like older. And ours was in the middle because it was all renovated. It was beautiful. And it was not the type of huge houses by the lake. And I was a little bit concerned that we would not fit into anyone who was looking for Lago Vista. And you told me, no, this is what it stands out. It makes your house stand out. That's exactly what we are going to market. And you convinced us, I guess.
Yeah, I think maybe a little background for the people who are watching that don't know you. So the thing with Natalia, she used to be an architect back in Brazil. So everywhere we move, she has to give it her little personal touch.
Of course.
And that little personal touch in that particular home was...
It made a huge difference, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, financially too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was, I think, and that was the other thing. Like we spent a lot of time and invested a lot on that home, and we didn't feel like just letting go of that house because, like, we would be literally losing money if we sold at that point in time, right? Because of the investment we made.
And not only about money, about the house that we really like. I envisioned myself maybe retiring and going back to that home or making an Airbnb one day if I want to venture that.
Yes, definitely. And I recall exactly when we reached that moment where Cadu said, okay, let's then look for houses. Also because you guys wanted to be able to bring your pets, all of that stuff, right? So after you have a beautiful, gorgeous home, and then you're now going to be a tenant to someone, that didn't feel very good.
No.
And we started looking at houses. Now, let's tell the audience what happened once we started looking at some homes and what you saw, especially comparing to all the upgrades you have all done and Natalia's touches and a bit of the process in us finding the house.
Yeah. I think one of the first things we're trying to lock on it was, there's going to be like the price range, but then there's our list of must-haves. But our list of must-haves didn't really match the price range because it was, location, it has to have good schools and this and that, and it has to be new or modern house.
It cannot be in a new neighborhood because I like trees.
Yeah, Natalia she likes to call those like the Sims.
The Sims, the game, the Sims.
Yes.
That's how I feel in these new neighborhoods. They're going to grow into being
actual trees
eventually, but I cannot wait because I'm gonna live there right now, right?
Correct. Understood.
So
Yeah,
I
she
like
needs,
the old
trees
neighborhood
and like big
better.
oak trees or that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. Yeah, so we started looking around Rock, and Josh was actually part of the process with us and sat through some of our conversations, looking at the financial aspects of this and us encouraging you all that, yes, things could work out from a numbers perspective. We looked in Brushy Creek, which was the Fern Bluff Elementary School.
Yeah.
We saw a wonderful house there.
We fell in love with that house, and we were so sad when we didn't work out. Remember?
I became a little bit picky because there were some things that I didn't like, and when we were close, like asking, hey, can we sign the contract? But I need this and this and this done. I think you told me, let's try and negotiate it later, and I ignored it. And then
I think that was before the inspection even, right?
Yeah, and they were like, oh no, I don't want to deal with you. and then we lost that one.
Yes, and the bathroom, they had done a great remodel, except that the shower head, Cadu was very bothered by it. And how can they do this
Yes.
to this wonderful home?
Yeah.
We left the kitchen in that one, remember?
Yeah, the kitchen was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I was going to just ask you, you talked about, you went through a set of decisions. I think everybody can relate. I mean, I know there's an emotional decision that occurs because we see this a lot where we kind of fall in love with this, the next thing or the house you're looking for. But then there's also this financial reality. And, how did y'all work through that together? I mean, I think we see that with couples all the time, and we have that same thing. So, as you're going into this decision, and you're, okay, we have a house, we're going to rent one. First, we're going to rent. Well, now we've made a change in decision. You're concerned about the 2 mortgages. How does that conversation go to where y'all get to a place where you're okay or settled?
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all approach that? Because I think it's important to share that, because all of us as married couples, we go through a negotiation, maybe the right word. I don't know if
here's how I think we can do this one. Because I think it was more about me trying to convince you to compromise in some of the things, and you trying to convince me with the price range. As I usually joke around, like I said, I'm the CFO at our house, right? So I have to approve the budget and whatnot. So maybe I can talk about like what led me to like arrive at what we thought we could afford, and you can talk about maybe the compromises and what you want to do.
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, when one of the things that I was taking into consideration, like to figure out like how much can we really afford, right? Because it's very easy for you to fall into a trap of, oh, it's just another 30, another 50, and then first thing you notice, like in the mortgage, it's and the interest rate was really bad at that time as well. But one of the things that I looked up back in the day when we bought our first house was, what is the ratio? What is the ratio of your income that you should be investing? And luckily for us, because like after we moved there were a few changes at work. I got a promotion, some other things.
I became an FTE. I was a contractor.
She also got hired. Yes. So our financial situation changed a little bit for the better. And we had been also a little bit conservative with the previous one. So we were in a situation where, we really thought we could afford a little more than what we were paying for in the previous house. So I think we set that particular price range. And then I think we were discussing about how much further we go, because what became clear very early on was the houses we were looking into, and like with the location and good schools, because we were planning to stay for a little longer so we could like get our kid to elementary school at least. It was not matching up, so we had to bump up that floor of our price range a little bit. But that was kind of the thought process from the financial perspective.
Yeah, and then for me it was, if I cannot find a house within that budget that we agreed on that has everything that I want to, what are my priorities? So I think for us both, the fact that there is a good elementary school was one thing that us both didn't want to let go. So we were only looking into neighborhoods that had like 8+ rating for elementary. And then the location, like how close it is to my employer, to his employer, and the daycares around, because that was the whole point, right, of the move.
Yes.
If I had to drive anyways 30 minutes to be, I might as well just drive 45 and stay where I am.
Correct.
So the location would play a big part in the decision. And then in the house, it's more like, what can I do with it? Because if I wanted to go to the house that I am not going to have to touch one thing for the next, 5 years, I would be talking $2 million houses to my
And I think that's the other thing with Nathalia, is because she has that architecture background. She can look at a property that she doesn't really love right now, but she can see the potential.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm looking for what it is. And I'm like, and she's going to be, no, it has potential. We can do this and that. And I just can't see it. And we usually joke about this because she usually comes up with ideas. And she's like, we should do this and that. And I'm like, no, that's going to be terrible. Let's not do that. It's a lot of money and it's not going to be cool. And then we end up doing it because I always do the math, how much my piece is worth. Right?
Yes.
So she wins me over. And then when we end up doing it, like I usually tell her, I'm glad I had that idea.
Right.
But yeah, she can see that potential where I usually cannot.
That's really wonderful, and what makes you both an amazing team, right? I remember Natalia telling me, she said, Raquel, if the house is too perfect, if there's nothing for me to do, I don't want it.
Right, exactly. And there's something else that is, I feel like builder grade houses in Texas, they're too dark for me. I like very light houses, and then they go to custom, right? They are usually not what you get, or they were renovated or whatever. And I remember when we just walked in the house that we got, we're going to get there later, but we signed a contract through videos.
Yes.
We trusted Raquel with, she went there, she made some like FaceTime. We were traveling and we were on like in a kind of a rush to get into the house. And we trusted. But the first thing, we went there like 8 a.m. to do the walkthrough. And I got there and all the lights were on. I was like, Raquel, turn it all off, because I don't turn on the lights during the day. I start turning the lights on around 6 p.m. Other than that, I want the natural light. And then she did it, and okay, it passed. So it was one of the things too for me. It's like it has to be, there's tons of natural light. The location in the school district, that was what I couldn't negotiate on. Everything else it can make happen.
Yes. And I learned so much with you in that process, because now when a client says, I need sunlight, I turn all the lights off and let's measure it with no lights on.
For what it is, right?
Yes, for what it is. But that's so great how our story really unfolded. We then found a property that at first looked nice. There were some upgrades and you all liked it. We moved forward with an offer, got approved, and then inspection time. Tell us about this.
That was a nightmare.
I think when those inspections were happening, was around the same time where we were out of town.
Yeah.
We were traveling, and we had our contractor that we trust go there and have a look. And he called us with some grim news.
Yeah.
That like that brand new renovated restroom upstairs. I mean, the floor was already breaking up because they didn't do it properly. There were issues with the drainage in the backyard, like a lot of red flags. But we loved it so much, and we were, trying to make it work. I think we were trying to do counter proposals, counter offers to the owners. Remember?
Yeah, but at some point when we got the final inspection with all those red flags, no, not gonna do that.
And going back to your point earlier, we were almost like giving up to emotion because we really loved it. It wouldn't have been a smart decision from a
No, not at
investment standpoint. And I'm glad that all the red flags showed up.
And that we were working
Yes.
with people that we trust.
Definitely. Yes. We had your contractor, we had our
Your
inspector, HP, and yes,
He's
I remember.
really good.
He's good,
Yeah,
right?
he's
'Cause
thorough. Yeah.
he found a water infiltration that they were trying to cover it up.
I remember that. Yes.
Right in the wall besides the bathroom, and Natalia was walking through the house and we could hear a squeak noise, and there was going to be some money to fix that. And
Yeah.
so
Okay.
at that point too, we felt misled by the sellers, and we said it would be best for us to walk away. Now Natalia says, Raquel, where are we going to go? We have to move. Daycare is starting. We have to be close to our employers.
And we were already like starting, at least like Natalia likes a lot to do this, visiting, going to the open houses. And like, I really don't. I really wanted to be done with that. So it was already starting to wear off on me.
Yeah, he was like, whatever, we're just gonna stay where we are, and
or just pick one.
then
I'm like, just pick one. I
ﷺ,
don't care
please
anymore.
help me out. And it has to be right now, and we are not gonna be in town for the next 10 days, but let's make it work.
Yeah. I think that I'm really grateful you share about the process, because we see that in this, and we do this too, where we get into a place where we're like, we really believe we love this property, and we love where it's at, or there's something, but then you keep talking about the red flags. And I just wanted to make the comment about having the people around you that trust, and then being able to, there's a part of, you have to make a rational decision that says our emotions are overriding what is going to put us into a difficult situation, especially y'all are moving, you have a young child, change of surroundings, change of everything. And so, yeah, I think that was good. So it just emphasizes about how you need people around you trust, and then also to kind of rationalize that and say, oh yeah, even though we love it, we might not love it into the hundreds of thousands of dollars of repair love it.
Yeah.
Right. Because you needed more of a
really,
turnkey kind of situation at the time because of the transition you were making.
Yeah.
That really made a big difference. Especially because like in our previous house, when you bought it, we didn't really have a very good experience with our realtor.
And not with the inspection either.
Yeah.
So after we moved, literally 4 days after we didn't move yet, like the house was ours. We were there painting and doing some renovations ourselves. It rained in the kitchen, but the kitchen is in the first floor. So it was raining
through the wall, the second floor.
Inside our kitchen.
Yeah, there was a deck that they had renovated, and there was like infiltration through the wall. But it was, water is going through the wall, inside,
through the door,
and then through the roof, through the roof, and then the ceiling, not the roof.
Some kind of thing that, how come this wasn't seen? So we worked with people that were not recommended by anyone. It was just like, okay, let's buy a house, and we found someone. And with you came in recommended by one of our best friends. It was a completely different experience. And then you recommended the inspection guy. So it's like almost like a network of trust that made that decision of not getting into that house that we really loved with all those red flags. It's like, okay, people are really opening our eyes here, and they want the best for us, not only for themselves. That kind of thing was really
another
helpful.
thing to highlight is I think ﷺ's passion.
Oh yeah,
I remember like we were on vacation, and like it's our house, and she was on vacation too, because I think you
were in Costa Rica.
We were in
That's
Costa Rica,
right.
and she was constantly like texting us and emailing us, and like
I was like, woman, go for your vacation.
Yeah.
I know I'm in a rush.
And I was like, Natalia, is she not on vacation? Like it feels like the house is for her, not for us.
Which makes a lot of difference, the way that you do things as if it was for yourself. I think that's your biggest difference.
Thank you.
work
I
with
really
you.
appreciate
and
that.
the work ethic too.
We hope you are enjoying this content. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and help our channel. And if you are moving to Austin or Boston, make sure to get in touch with us through the links on the description of this video, or reach our website with all resources and information on how to get started with our team serving you in Massachusetts and Texas. So appreciate your kind words, and it means a lot to me. And in fact, I listen to my clients, right? And that moment when we knew the inspection was shaky and decisions were going to be made over the weekend before we got on a plane to Costa Rica, I went around filming every house
You did.
that I could.
I received so many videos. I'm actually crying now because it was something that it's hard. Like it was a moment for us that we were in a sensitive position because we really needed to make it work. We wouldn't have anyone taking care of our kid after he turned 1. And it would be a whole ordeal if I had to figure out what to do with him if I was living in that house still in Lago Vista and then change later. We didn't want to go through that. So, yeah.
Definitely. And then as we were traveling in Costa Rica, those decisions about walking out of the other house were happening despite our Wi-Fi connections, you guys traveling as well. But then there was a house we put an offer on, which it was too perfect for Natalia anyway. And then she says, how about this one? I think we could like this one. It's outside of our budget, but it seems to be one of the few houses left.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, I have a video of that sitting in Costa Rica, sending her the videos of that house and you guys in California.
Yeah.
Because I remember we saw one in between, the one that fell through because of the inspection and the one we ended up buying. Like, you liked it. There was the one we drove by, like, coming here today. And, like, I don't know, something in that one, it was, I don't know, the location, the neighborhood.
No, I didn't like it. I saw potential.
Yeah.
And it was way under our budget. And then the math that I did was, I can get this, I don't know, almost $200,000 and make it amazing, you know?
Yeah, and also I remember looking at the backyard on that one and
that
thinking
was really
about
sad.
the amount of work and like, no, that's a lot of chores.
What do you mean? Like, it's to them, it's gardening with the little shovel. You have to carry the 75-pound bags of mulch, right? Yeah, yeah. I know that. I know that. It's not fun.
Yeah. Usually what we do, we bring her parents in, and her dad does
They do it
because they have a landscaping company back in Brazil. So
perfect. So you bring in help.
Yeah.
Yes, and I really remember that throughout the process, right? And now we see this house, we liked it, and timing is everything, right? When you are working with a realtor that really cares about you. You mentioned about, us being on vacation, and it doesn't matter if it's a holiday, your offer has to be in, right?
Yeah.
It's time sensitive, or you may lose the house you really want. And so as realtors, we have to dedicate ourselves if we want to make things happen, right? And work for you. And then we put an offer in that house, still some back and forths during the week. We were all out of state. And the moment they arrived at the airport, we went bright and early next day to see the house. They were under contract, sight unseen.
Yeah, that is true.
And
That's
you
crazy.
didn't even go there because he was like, I don't even care anymore. Just pick one. Just make it work. I trust you. So
I probably didn't care enough that I had to skip. I probably had something important at work.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's really gonna be her decision, right? And as long
as it is within budget, is my decision.
I looked at the video and say, yeah. I mean, like I said, I was already mentally done with that. I say, yeah. I mean, looks fine. You pick. I don't care. I'm done.
It was a good one.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I took a few months to really fall in love with it. Because now we went a little bit over our budget, so there's no room for renovation for the next 3 years. No, for the next 2 years, because it's been a year and a half.
It was 5. I need to go back and look at my contract.
What are renovations?
You know that she actually managed to sneak one through because we found a kind of a little leak. There was a small pipe that was leaking inside of a.
It was something really small.
It was really small, but she managed to make a big renovation out of it.
Well done. This happens at our house all the time.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys are such an inspiration to us, and so happy that we found the house, found the one.
Yeah.
And, I want you to tell us at the end all about the renovations and what's coming, like how you're staying happy in that house. But I wanted to switch for a moment about now renting your house in Lago Vista, because that was an entire process.
Yeah.
Right. Getting the house ready, and your family was here. I had to put you guys through some stressful times for us
it was worth it.
get good tenants fast. So let's talk about that process and how it was for you, the evaluation we did and how we marketed the house. Let's share with the audience some of that process, right? People thinking out there, should I become a landlord one day? And some of the pros and cons.
Sorry. I think you can start with what was it, the math that we did to be worth to rent out a house, like with mortgage and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can talk about other
Yeah. So my concern was like back then. I think the market was starting to get a little stalled, at least in Lago. So like I said, that we were seeing properties around us. They were just not selling, not
Yeah.
renting, which is weird. Just 6 months before, like there was a lot of new houses and people moving in. Um, so my concern was like you keep like scrolling and refreshing Zillow. I was like, is it going up? Is it going down? And my concern was, what if, especially looking the prices of the houses around
The
us,
comps, yeah.
it it didn't feel like it would get us close enough to what we were paying with mortgage. So that was one of
And
my
property
concerns.
taxes.
I wished at least we could cover the mortgage or anywhere close, so that we wouldn't have to put extra out of pocket. Uh, Especially with the new mortgage, it was a lot more expensive. Not only got a more expensive house, but also the interest rate we got was nowhere close what we got back in 2021. Um, so that was kind of my concern. Let's try to at least get it to a point where we can make it close to the mortgage. Luckily, we ended up getting it for
Not luckily. So
well, not
because for us, we were comparing to the houses that were not to the level that ours was, or what I said before, like we were in between, but I could not see it selling as in between price. I thought we are competing with these people that are renting their houses for way less, and they're still here. So that was my
it
concern.
was a lot less.
A lot less. And then Raquel
Some
told
of
me,
them were
no.
about half of what we were asking.
Yeah.
We were planning to ask.
But then you came to us and said, no, you have this, you have that. Let's market in a way that I'm going to get to this price point that you're talking about. And we did that. I think we came down like $100 less than we asked, which was $200 more than
No, I
our
think-
mortgage plus.
Actually, I remember now. We kept the price we were asking, but we threw in the
mowing the lawn
yeah,
for the guy, which
the
is
lawn
good
service.
because I was a little bit concerned. We just put like all new grass all over the place. What if they don't care about it and they make you
That's
die?
right.
It's a lot of investment that is going away. So in a way, it's good that we're doing that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I actually like, because we threw in like 100. I tried to find a lawn service that would fit within that difference, so that we wouldn't lose a lot of money. And I ended up like finding the guy that I work with until today, and he does our new property as well.
Yeah.
He's a
Oh,
really good guy.
Yeah, I think that just we see this a lot with doubting doubting when we look at the comps around you, like, oh, we can't make it or can't do it. I mean, Raquel does a great job at taking care of clients in that way. And with our own, we have multiple properties, so we go through the same exercise. Or can we get it? Can we make it work? The other thing that I wanted to call out, and this is just what we see, is what we look at as these value-added services. So what you described is, I'm going to take care of my property, your asset, in a way that you would want it to be treated. So the lawn service, like you talked about, you put that in. So now you're securing that for either the next tenant, or you mentioned earlier, maybe moving back there at someday.
Yeah.
So you're taking care of your property in a way that you want it to be treated, and then getting actually a higher rent for it.
Right.
Mhm.
So people don't see that if you look at it from how much rent you're collecting, you're actually collecting more total dollars, even though you're giving that out. But it's an investment in your own real
True.
estate, right? So higher rents. We see this with the washer and dryers. We see this with lawn service. We see it with pet service, like things like that. And this is some of the things that we implement too on our side. And so it was great to hear you say, hey, we were adding more things because we wanted to take care of our property. And that's actually, for you as landlords, that's actually a good place to be, because you're taking care of your property and your tenant. Because not all landlords take care of their properties in the same way. So
Mhm.
it just talks about the pride of ownership. So I just want to call that out. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think there's that. And another thing that Natalia and I always talk about is like, we try to make it right to the tenants. So we try to be very responsive. I think a couple of times we have like issues with plumbing, with the AC. So when they reach out to us, we try to like just like as soon as possible. Of course, sometimes you can't get people out there next day, but then like next day you're on the phone with them. You try to schedule them within like 48 hours or something.
Absolutely.
Because that's kind of what you'd like your landlords to do for you.
Yep.
And we were lucky with our previous one before we bought.
were.
That lady was really, really responsive for the stuff we had. So I think it was in many ways a good experience on that part.
And we wanted something similar to our tenant too. And he's so nice. He pays through the turbo tenant, and he leaves the message, "Hey, I love living here every month." I'm so happy here. It's so nice.
That's lovely.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I cared so much about listening to you guys and Cadu saying we really have to rent the house. We would love a 2-year lease and things of that nature, right? So I was asking you guys, let's get the house ready and do this in the midst of.
Oh yeah, I must admit there wasn't a point that I couldn't look at Raquel's face anymore because it feels like we were renting the house for her. She would like come in. Oh, you guys need to touch up this part, and like, what about that little lighting fixture that is?
Let's just do whatever she says because she knows what she's talking about.
I live this life all the time. We have multiple. Like we at our house we have to have like. I'm not even going to go.
Yeah.
I was like, just hire that out. Like I'm useless at this, but her attention to detail makes a difference when it talks about, what y'all experience is also similar to what we experience, where we have lots of showings. It stands out and you get the tenants, better tenants, and you get them fast.
Yes.
And the other thing is lessons learned. Like you talked about a 2-year lease, things like that. We do, that's a practice we've adopted because the part that's the hardest that we don't see. I mean, y'all have this one rental property, we have multiple.
Yeah.
But what makes the difference is when you don't have a tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The things that cost you the most money is I would rather make a little bit less money per month, but have a tenant for a longer period of time.
Yes.
Because that security in this makes all the difference.
So I think this was one of the things too that we talked about. We could handle holding the price that high for like 2 months. After 2 months, we were okay, just make it go down. At least a part of the mortgage is being paid for.
Sure.
And Raquel got someone in 5 days. 5 days. I was super impressed because we were expecting like a month at least.
Sure.
In that location,
No, of course.
And
understood.
we got a tenant. He lives by himself there with a dog. And his parents come from
Wisconsin, I think.
Wisconsin every other month or so. And I only communicate with his mom. So it's the perfect situation,
Excellent.
He's super nice and they take care of the property super well. But how fast it was.
Yeah, but I remember like when we were getting ready for the showings, I was starting to get anxious because Natalia would be like, that Raquel is coming today, right? What about those 25 things that she pointed out last time that we need to fix?
It has to be done.
Natalia already fixed 23.
No,
what about
the other two?
Oh my goodness.
You guys, really, I appreciate your patience. And this is what I call the Brazilian difference, right?
I think so.
When people walk through the door, if the house is impeccable, it smells clean, it's ready to go, someone can envision themselves there and they say, this is the house. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we had with that scenario where the parents fell in love first and the son was ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what the experience you had, we have similar experiences with the velocity at which we rent. But also then the processes we use, like you talked about the turbo tenants and all that stuff, we're not sponsored or anything by those people, but we try to show exactly how we manage our properties to the people that we work with, because just share best practice with people because you care about them.
It is super easy to like set up the payments and it's really good.
You just care about people and you want them to be successful.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
and I think after talking to you both on that cafe that day, it gave us some ideas that probably not in the same pace that you guys do it because it's not our goal right now.
Sure.
But we have a property in Brazil that we paid off and is rented, so we started there. And then now we have these two here. One we live in, the other one is rented out. We have some plans after talking to you. Like, what if we become landlords? I don't know, have an Airbnb in Colorado that we can go during summer that is super hot here.
Sure, I understand.
Spend like July in Colorado and then rent it out for the peak season of winter and make more money there too and have something else. But also even around Austin, we consider.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes. And Natalia is so amazing at it. I'm sure the decoration of that Airbnb is going to be spotless. I want her to come do ours.
You thought that, I mean, you know this, the 25-point list only goes to like 125 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're so happy for your journey and thankful to be part of your journey, that you trusted in our services for all
We're
of
so
this.
happy that we found you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Aw. And as final advice for people wanting to become landlords out there, but say, this is scary, it's not for me. Am I going to find tenants? Do we have some advice we want to share?
I think that the best advice that I can share is you don't undersell yourself.
Yeah.
I think that people sometimes they get intimidated, and they also I say fear and anxiety. You talked about having a mortgage. You talked about, oh my gosh, if I don't get someone in it, we get stuck with that, and it's easy to fall away from the number is right. We're going to give it the time to go and get in and move through the process. Fortunately, in this situation, 5 days, that's a good thing. You know, you had a great tenant, you have a long-term lease, and it was a short, quick turnaround because you had a great property, you had put love and care in it, and it showed, and so it rented. But I think that if I would, that's what I would say is don't sell yourself short, and you have to be willing to have some patience because it's intimidating.
Yeah.
It can be really scary.
If anything, I think I regret that we didn't start earlier, because we could have probably found much better deals if we had looked at 2 years before.
At the same time, we didn't have a green card back then. So it was a more risky decision. Let's say everything goes wrong and you go back to Brazil with a mortgage in dollars, probably unemployed, and that's when it went wrong. So it's like, I think, yes, I agree with you. At the same time,
for your peace
it
of
worked out
mind, for your
eventually.
peace of mind, I think it was a good thing. But in hindsight, looking back, I feel like, okay, what if things didn't work out well? We would have sold it or rented it, and it would be the same, right?
It would be the same.
Especially with the market being as hot as it was for the last few years.
Definitely. Yeah. What comes to mind for me is for the people that don't want anything to do with managing, right, the tenant, dealing with that, you can always go to a property management company and have that peace of mind. And so you don't have to worry if the AC is going out during Christmas time and you're traveling, right? Things of that nature. For us, I would say part of our keys to success here is staying in our strengths, right? Him evaluating the financial side, like being the CFO, playing that role, and me looking at the qualitative aspect, and then make the property really stand out and think of those upgrades. He can evaluate if they will make sense. But I can at least say from a personal standpoint, like closets, for instance, perhaps we share with people and end with this note on your new house. You had some plans right away to make some changes because you couldn't live with some aspects. Tell us.
So,
She fixed that by kicking me out of the closet.
He doesn't have any space in the closet. His clothes live on his office closet that is just a tiny door, but it's enough. And then I spread myself on the guest room for now. But my plans are a little bit ambitious because it's just not the closet. For me to be able to expand my closet, I have to redo the kitchen. So
she just wants to do an 180 in the kitchen and extend it.
Because the layout of the kitchen, it's fine, but it could be so much better. And I have some plans for the kitchen.
The project sitting on the desk of the CFO, waiting for approval.
I have 3D plans. I have the
beautiful.
I have everything already
Many versions even.
Many versions. I can pick one whenever we are ready. So I'm going to get my closet. I will, whenever I can do the kitchen.
Excellent.
Well,
Sounds like.
Yeah, we know who to call to get 3D plans. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
don't get any
Absolutely.
ideas.
Well,
Yes.
call me. I can help you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what like you said, it's a
Absolutely.
network. It's a
It
network.
is a network of trust, right?
And
Yes.
she can spin those up really quick. You have no idea.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes, I'm so impressed always with Natalia because she does a lot on her own, and
Oh, yeah.
I want half of those skills. Give some to Joshua too. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being with us on this episode, How One Couple Turned a Relocation into a Really Smart Real Estate Win.